Tesla Q3 deliveries, in-depth analysis. Let's talk all about that. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla weekend. Quick thanks to newest Twitter subscribers, Phil and Michael. These Patreon, Twitter, YouTube members, these are the reason I'm able to keep going, and I appreciate you guys more than I can explain. Bonus material, good stuff, all that. So what has changed? Well, we've got slightly better numbers to go on from Q2. Still can't find what the actual production was from Shanghai, or a better glimpse at the product mix. If anyone has that, let me know so I can include it in the next update. Oh, and as a reminder, this is going out a week early on Twitter, Patreon, and to YouTube members because you guys support me, and that's, I gotta, hey, if you don't know how I'm getting paid, you should question it, because somebody's paying everybody, and all these guys you see on social media poo-pooing the company, they're getting paid too. You just don't know who's paying them. Thank you. Anyway, so we've got these better numbers. Let's look at them. And what we're seeing is that my number from Q3 for Shanghai was too low. So that creates a shift that will go across the other products. And what we're looking at basically is 247,217. Now that's deliveries, but I think that is the real number. I think when they leave China, they count as deliveries, even though they haven't gone to a customer's hands. So really, that's as close to production as we're likely to get. Again, if you have another number, I'd be happy to look at it. And as anticipated, now you remember earlier in the previous video, I got a lot of heat for saying numbers would be down because Shanghai and Fremont would be closed for retooling. And then this fella on an earnings call, Mr. Musk, I think his name was, said, yeah, we are taking the factory down. And here we are, met God in wilderness, heard a rumor that production had stopped. And if you look at the factory, it is super quiet. Places where you would normally see a swarm of activity, cars all about, no, not so much. The loading and logistics yard is quiet, and not many cars moving out on this blessed day. In fact, this gate is closed. So yes, we are going to see a dip in Model 3 and perhaps more. But look at this guy over here. What's going on here? That, my friend, that is a nice, big, heavy footing area right next to the stamping or the casting area. See, there's casting right there. So it's right there. Probably, it would be likely to assume that this is where new castings can be made in the future. So let's get our numbers a little prettier. So the first thing I need to do is change the date to today, which is the 26th. Okay. So we know this number was wrong, and I mean very wrong. It was actually 247, 217. All the numbers about to change. Now, this number is clearly wrong, which means I've overestimated the production from Berlin and Texas, probably dramatically. Let's take 10,000 off, 53,400 and 52. It still might be a little low. Berlin and Texas are not ramping as quickly, perhaps as we had expected, because these numbers look pretty reasonable. So let's drop this another 5,000. Let's say, let's do that. 47,400 and 47. That's more believable. So what does that change? My estimates for SNX are unchanged, comparable to last quarter. H, yes. And Fremont 3 and Y. And actually, I can show you my equations if you'd like to see them. They're a little chunky. A little bit chunky there. Because it includes capacity factors, incremental improvements, and then it assumes that Model 3 line will go down and begin ramping quite slowly, and it factors in the extra day. This is a bigger shift than what the original numbers said, because we're no longer weighting these by quite as much. And if these are more accurate, this is too high. I said just by going by the capacity of 5,000 a week, I'm going to say, what if I say 95% of that? More believable. And this much more complicated one for Texas, I'm going to also say times 0.95 because those numbers were even these are too optimistic. Oh yeah, and now we're over last quarter. We're not going to be over last quarter. We're not going to be over last quarter. That's not reasonable. If we look at I don't even know if these numbers were right. I'd have to go back. We don't know. We just don't know. Those were still estimates. I'm saying there's no way we're over last quarter. That seems implausible. Oh, let's take it down to 85 and see what it does. 85 and 85% gets us a very small improvement over last quarter. Now, the big variable here is going to be how quickly will the new Model 3 line come online and begin its ramp, because I'm of the mind that it's going to move probably slowly at first. Possibly very slowly, maybe. One question that was answered on the earnings call is, can they go ahead and make different molds from the same machine? And yes, they can swap out the dies. I'm sure it's not fun. They're very bulky and heavy, but it can be done. It's a thing that is done. So yeah, we can do that. So I'm going to say, until we can see better, there is a non-zero chance that this will not be a poor performing quarter. Because that would only be 5,000 off. That's not too bad. And Shanghai would be 10,000, 11,000 off. That's not too bad. These are big unknowns. I expect them to continue ramping quite well. So we shall see. So that's it. What did I miss? What did I misunderstand? I'll leave it in the comments below. Stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots on the next one. Thanks for being here.